Oh my gosh, I got that new intro working. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year, bosses. Welcome to the Cannabis Mom Boss Show, where we empower others to safely and confidently come out of the green closet to modernize the perception of today's cannabis consumer while also teaching business and entrepreneurship skills to create your own unique career path. I am so excited for today's session because I got a lot going on. I am your host, Jenny Blaze, and today we are talking about manifestation, how I've made it possible for myself, and how you can as well. And I'm wearing my glasses today. I just want to double check that the audio is working. Yay! We're good. And Serafina is here. Whoop whoop. And she's in LA. Good morning from LA. All right. So I'm wearing my glasses today. I went to I hardly ever wear them because they're actually kind of like loose a little bit. And these glasses are actually like older than my oldest child. 25,000. Just kidding. That's from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills if you're not a Bravo fan, but these are my very last pair of wearable glasses because I don't have any, and I don't have any contacts anymore. The thought of registering an account online and logging in is like my least favorite thing in the world to do. Think like Paul Rudd in what's it called? Wet Hot American Summer, where he's just like, oh, like that is literally me anytime I have to log into anything. I just hate it. But so I'm at the eye care center or whatever this morning, and the employee there, he was like, okay, your contacts will cost $25.20. And because I'm so lazy with my eye care, like I don't even remember the last time I bought contacts. I think the last time I bought like a massive amount because I just like hate the process so much. I was like, I don't want to do this. I'll get laser surgery by then, which I never did. But and here we are today. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how much contact lenses cost. And inflation's going on. I'm like, holy crap. I remember spending it also, like, I remember the last time I was in Chicago. So that's not like the last time I had an eye appointment, but I remember spending like well over $1,000. I got these like super tricked out French designer glass frames, and they were so cool. I loved them, but they broke. And so these are like my older glasses that are like 14 years old that I've been wearing for like a year or two since the other ones broke. So yeah, he said 25.20, and I'm like, I was so wildly perplexed. I think I paused and I was like, $2,520. And he just looked at me like I was the craziest person on earth. And I just think that's funny. Sorry, dude. He was like, no. I thought, wow, contact lenses are like the same price as tires. No way. Anyways, okay. So I want to make sure that I remind you all to subscribe and turn on notifications to my YouTube channel so you don't miss our live sessions. We are here live every Thursday for Cannabis Mom Boss at 1 p.m. Eastern, unless we have like a holiday or special occasion. I took the last 2 weeks off for the holidays, and I got the flu, allegedly. But I was able to still launch the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework, which I'll tell you all about in just a minute. As always, if you missed the live stream, don't worry. You can always watch the replay on YouTube or listen to the audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. And now Cannabis Mom Boss is on iHeartRadio. Whoop, whoop. Hell yeah, look, I got double mic action going on. Whoop, whoop. This thing has, I got these for my kids for Christmas. Hello?
Hello? The call is coming from inside the house.
I never met a mic I don't love. Anyways, okay, so that brings me to our big announcement about the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework, which is live now, where I go through all the tools that I have used to literally manifest my dreams. And I'm giving you all these tools through videos, worksheets, activities to help you achieve real results. I can't do it for you, but I am here for you. And with the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework, you also get a private and confidential one-on-one customized hype session with yours truly, so that there are no excuses not to achieve your results. We're all about results driven, high performing. My first job ever was at a company where high performance delivered was their like tagline. And I was fresh out of college, so I totally drank the Kool-Aid, but I'm going to tell you about that later. It works, but just use your powers for good, people. The link to the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework is available in the show notes right now. You can literally click I don't know, I think it says more or whatever. You can click that, and right there you can click on the link. Also, if you're a Bravo TV lover, you may know that I am the Blaze behind the Bravo and Blaze show, which is live on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern on this same YouTube channel, but also on Facebook and Twitter. The audio podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and also iHeartRadio. The handle is at Bravo and Blaze on all social media platforms, so make sure you go follow. I need to take a sip. One thing about being a Canna mom, I always have like a little bit of cotton mouth. Anyways, I want to give my mom update for the week. As some of you may know, my oldest has been giving me she's making me put in a lot of work right now. I mean, they all are making me put in a lot of work equally, but in different ways because of their age. But my oldest is 13. She's playing varsity wrestling. Do you say that playing? I don't know if she's participating in. And she had a tournament where she won first place. So now she's like even more hyped about it. But the funny thing is that, well, it's not funny, but I'm trying to be real about parenting here. And she had two tournaments in the same weekend. The tournament on Saturday, she won first place. And then the tournament on Sunday, she had to sit out because she hasn't been following the rules at school. And her principal and we text. We're like texting buddies now. And so we had to inform the coaches, and everyone participated in that discipline. But I just don't get it. Like, she's definitely different than me, because I can't imagine going this far in like having this much discipline. I feel like I'm reliving my childhood again, but like worse, because I have to not only like guide, but I have to also like hold her accountable. That's the hardest part, really, is holding people accountable and holding yourself accountable. But yeah. She won first place and then she couldn't participate. It's my kid. The 4-year-old, her 4-year-old. Oh my gosh. She is just, I am loving this age. She's like 4.5. And so she's old enough to have a basic conversation about like logic and facts, basic things, and even some feelings. And she's just so sweet. I just like you can see her like pure innocence, and I just want to protect her emotional and mental health as much as possible because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just so precious. Meanwhile, on the other hand, my 2-year-old is driving me nuts. She just screams, whines, doesn't want to use her words, doesn't want to listen, smiles when she knows she's like not listening, and she'll be like, no. Like, oh my gosh, I'm getting like almost choked. Yeah, that's like, I can't imagine having like those type of balls. And it's just like inherent to her. Like, this is natural. No one taught her this. But that just also goes to show like what humans really are. Like, imagine if you were never hurt by anything in this world. Like, if you believed in unicorns and stuff. Like, anyways, but the really great thing about my 2-year-old, we took a nap together because remember, I still don't have full-time childcare. So on Wednesdays we wear pink, just kidding. But Wednesdays I have my youngest, and excuse me, we took a nap together, and it was just like, I don't know, perfect snuggle size. I don't know, she's just so cute. But anyways, let's go into today's topic. Manifestation. I say manifestation all the time, and like mostly jokingly for a while, but now I'm like, oh my gosh. This whole time while I'm joking and being like, oh yeah, manifest, it's actually all the things that I've been doing. Excuse me. And all the experiences that I've had where I've had success have all come from manifestation. And that made me think like, okay, what does manifestation even mean? Like, what does manifest mean? I Googled it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that I'm coughing. I told you I had the flu. Anyways, so manifesting. Where did my definition go? Okay, so the definition of manifest is to display or show a quality or a feeling by one's acts or appearance. Semicolon. Demonstrate. Okay. I thought if I looked up or I Googled manifest that I was going to see something like really foo-foo and like, oh, when somebody's crazy and they think that they have the power to do anything, or somebody's so delusional, like some kind of mental illness or whatever. Just kidding. But I was not expecting this definition where manifest is just to display or show a feeling through your actions and appearance. Like, that makes so much sense. That's literally like fake it till you make it. Kind of. Which, by the way, studies show that works. There's something in our like your energy shifts, and like the words you say really actually start to change your own behavior and the behavior of people around you. So I thought that was really cool. And the definition of manifestation is the action or fact of showing an abstract idea. I thought that definition was really interesting too, because I guess I didn't really think about it that much, what I thought the definition would be. But this makes so much sense because all the tools, all the things that I've used and learned in my formal education and through my professional experience at top consulting firms in the world, all of it is making sense. And when you start looking at people's experiences who have experienced success, a lot of the tools and techniques that they've used for themselves come from what I used as well. And so what I've done is put together this framework to share it with you all, because I noticed when I talk to people one-on-one, I'm like, oh, well, you can do, this. And they're like, really? That's life-changing? I don't think so. It's not like one little thing that's life-changing. It's a lot of little things. I'll just say that. And I think, did I skip over no, I'm going through. Okay. I'm going to tell you a story of one of my successes. Okay. And you can't get any more proof than what I'm about to show you. But don't forget to sign up. Link is in the bio, or link is in the show notes. Okay. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing because I've never presented this like this. Should I do this? Okay, for those of you who are listening, I am showing a picture of myself in January. It's January 31st, 2010. I was in Chicago. I had just given birth to my oldest a few months prior to that, and I was over 200 pounds. And I remember this day and this outfit, I had no clothes to it. I couldn't even figure out how to dress for my body anymore. And I was like, I don't know. I'll wear this Dave Matthews t-shirt with a long sleeve underneath, I guess, to try to hide my body. It was a time where I was not feeling, that great about myself. Okay, I gotta make this picture a little bit smaller while I talk. So I'll just try to quickly give the story of how I got to this point, January 31st, 2010. I come from humble beginnings. My mother is a Korean immigrant. My father is blue collar boomer. I was always told, get good grades, go to an amazing school, get a good degree, and get a good job with a big company and get security with that, and you're all set. That's all you got to do. And be successful, whatever that means. I thought nobody told me what success meant, and I just thought success meant making lots of money. What's lots of money? It's different for everyone. So I did all those things. I was like, this is what I was told to do. I'm a very obedient person most of the time. But when I left college, I did my internship at JP Morgan Chase in 2004, before Sonia Morgan was a New York housewife. But, and they gave me a full-time offer, but I just knew, I was like, hell to the no. Are you serious? This is not for me. I don't want to do this. But I was trained my education was information technology, electronic media arts, and communications. I made up that degree. There was nobody to model my career path after. And I was it was a school of mostly nerdy guys. And I went in by, who I am and just, happy and peppy. And they were really rude to me. Actually, I'll tell you this other story. So when I left school, I had over 20 job offers. I can't even, I don't remember all of them. I remember like the top ones that I was like trying to narrow down. With JP Morgan Chase, I had like IBM, UBS, GE, Target, all these big companies. And one of my classmates, because I got one of the most coveted offers out of the entire all of the companies there, and the people who had like the same degree, well, similar degrees as me, information technology. And it was with one of the top consulting firms. And one of my classmates said to me, "How did you get an offer and I didn't?" And I was like, first of all, and I don't even think I said anything. I was just like so taken aback. Number one, that's why, because you're rude. And number two, hello, I'm amazing. I made up my own degree and I can hold my own with whoever. So, anyways, I'm still obviously mad about that. But I wound up working for one of the best consulting firms in the world. They spent millions, maybe billions of dollars in training their employees, us, because their product, they don't have an actual material product that you buy. These companies, the company I worked for is like multi-billion-dollar company, and they're helping other billion-dollar companies make more money. So it's all in perspective. Just think about that for a second. But I was at this young, ripe age, and now looking back, like they do pick young people right out of college and they made it look glamorous because they're like, oh, you're going to travel on Monday to Thursday, and then you can go wherever you want on the weekends, and we give you, the cost of your plane ticket home, or you can stay where you are and use it for a hotel there. You can go use that same money to go somewhere else for the weekend, like on a weekend trip or whatever. And so I was living this life for a few years and like racking up points, racking up status, banking money because I was never home. Like I didn't have to pay for groceries because we had like an expense or not, we had a per diem. So our company would pay us like $50 a day at that. This is like years ago. This is almost 20 years ago. I wonder how much it is now. Any consultants out there, let me know. And it depended on like where you were. But also like if you drove anywhere, you'd either get a rental car paid for you or you'd get your mileage paid for you, which would always be more than what your gas would cost. So like you almost made money off of driving to work. Like that's crazy. Anyways, so I was living that lifestyle. I drank the Kool-Aid. They trained us rigorously. We had like very high standards for what we had to do as far as our training went. Where to the point where they even sent us all to like this random place in Illinois outside of Chicago. Everyone who was at the same level, like new hires across the world, like Africa, Asia, Europe, we all gathered together. And I mean, we partied a lot, but yeah, this is like I'm trying to explain how intense this life was. And on paper, like everything looked great. I bought a house before I turned 25, my first house. I was driving an Audi. I was in this state of quote unquote thriving by someone else's definition, definitely not my own. And I know that, and I think back to like my mother, and I don't mean to like blame her, like I'm not mad at her or whatever. This is just because of her circumstances, what she put on me. And through that, being like the child of an immigrant, it was always just like, just make lots of money. And the idea of your feelings or like living with purpose was never discussed, never talked about. And I found myself in a position where I was even though on paper and like from the outside, it looked like I was living this amazing life, I was incredibly unhappy on the inside. And I used alcohol to cope. I partied a lot. I was like desperately seeking love and like just awful. Like that's probably why I get triggered watching, like Summer House, Winter House on Bravo. Cause I'm like, oh my God, I was like that. It's awful. But anyways, so I was miserable, but and I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know what the right track was. And honestly, I didn't know even where to find guidance. Like I had already surpassed what my parents had achieved, fresh out of college. So who do you look to for guidance when like there aren't many half Asian females in executive positions running big corporations? However, I did work for a lot of those companies and I experienced that. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. This is about privilege and entitlement because clearly some of these people aren't that bright. And also I'm not sure if they earned I witnessed nepotism when I like recently when I left for maternity leave. Like I saw that and I thought that was wild that that's still happening at a company that big. Anyways, okay, I'm not trying to rat anyone out. But so I was on paper looking great, but inside not doing so well. And I wish so bad that we had social media at this time. This is like mid 2000s, okay? This is like 15, 20 years ago. Facebook like was brand new. So, and no one had an iPhone at that time. So, if I had social media, I feel like I would have been much more easily been able to find my people, find my interests, see that it's okay to like certain things and not have like the people in my physical environment be, like saying negative things in my ears and trying to, maybe subconsciously or maybe consciously trying to stop me from growing because then that puts a focus on their own growth or lack of. So, yeah, I thought everything was great, right? And then we had a recession in the economy and I got laid off from my really great job. And I also I think this was right before I was pregnant. And I found myself, this picture is right after I had my child. I got laid off. Everyone I knew that got laid off went to this other company where it was like business as usual. We're flying, blah, blah, blah. But I had a kid now, so I could not fly anymore and travel on that schedule anymore. I had to have like a home and like, take care of my kid. So I found myself as a single mom of a 4-month-old baby, overweight. I had a mortgage in New York. I had rent in Chicago. And I also had multiple lawyers for my custody situation. I spent well over $40,000 on that, by the way. And this is back then too. This is like 2010. Yeah. So I got to a place in my life where my lifestyle was no longer, it was like I was really pushing it. And not only did I have to cut back on my lifestyle of like traveling and buying nice things and going out and partying, but now I had to take care of a child and I didn't have that expense account anymore. So I had to buy my own groceries, like things that normal people take for granted or whatever. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, I found myself in debt and I went from like up here to all the way down here, and I thought I was going to have to file for bankruptcy. I really didn't know what to do. And when you get put into a situation like that, your survival instincts kick in. I was like, okay, this is not good. Let's get it together. And it wasn't like something happened overnight, but I knew that I had to get my finances in order. I needed to get my body healthy because if something happened to me, I'm the only person who's there. I was in a new city with no family, no friends, no support system. And by the grace of God or the universe, whoever, I was lucky enough to get childcare very close to my work, and it was subsidized. Like if I had to pay regular childcare, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, so with this, I'm in Chicago with my child, and I just like basically hunker down. I'm like, this is not okay. We're doing something about this. This is cringy, which is part of my brand, but go fast forward 3 years later. Your girl lost the weight. This is me in Miami with my friends right after brunch. We were tipsy because we're having like a girls' weekend or whatever, and we worked out before, but then I don't know, we were having a great time. So I got back to that like old me through putting together, like doing what you have to do. And I know like this was survival mode for me, but from here, then it went into thriving mode. And that's, I think, all these tools that I've used and all the experiences of success that I've had, I think that anyone can do this if you just have some kind of structure and you take a look at your mindset. And that's really, I got to take this picture down. This is too much for me. Whoever's watching or whoever's listening who's not seeing this, it's a picture of me 3 years later, lost the weight. Actually, I already said that. Whatever. Anyways, so I'm going to take this picture down because I just want to talk about the lessons that I learned that you can start applying now, or maybe like start, maybe you're manifestation curious. I don't know how to say it, but maybe you're curious about manifesting, and I'll give you some examples. Like for me, what I think the first thing you have to do when you want to manifest anything to make it happen is you have to really have some self-awareness, but also really be honest with yourself. And like people will tell me, oh, I am honest with myself. Really? Okay. Who do you think you're fooling right now? Like the only way to keep yourself honestly, is if you are like really keeping a diary or journal of what you're doing. If you are trying to lose weight, then you need to track and write down exactly what you are eating every day or what your physical exercise, because weight loss is all just a math equation. You need to take in less calories than you burn every day. How you do that, there's so many different ways to do that. And it's different, whatever is best for you is going to be different for everyone. But these are basic tools that are really life-changing. And I know like people say like, oh, just journal. Well, what does that really mean? Like we need to take a step further. Journaling is different than keeping a diary. And I think journaling really takes your emotional intelligence and maturity to a different level. But if you're in survival mode, you just want like, okay, I need to like lose this weight. I need to get my finances in order. Like simple. I've done it more than once. And I have not taught the framework on personal finance. I will always refer to Dave Ramsey, the Total Money Makeover, because I've used it more than once. And honestly, like I truly believe anyone can do it. And then you start looking at money in a different way. You can really harness like what your intention is and what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So you really need to confront yourself. And like from a physical standpoint, if you're like trying to make a physical transformation, look in the mirror, literally look in the mirror, get on the scale, or maybe try on an outfit that you once felt amazing in and be honest with yourself. Like, okay, because I've been there. Like, I know what it's like. And I'm not here to like help people lose weight. Like that, I am not interested in that. But I'm just giving this as an example of, you know, how you can apply these same basic skills and tools to do anything. You have to also confront if you're in a financial situation and you want to get out of survival mode and you want to start thriving, you need to be honest. Look in the mirror, open your bills, take an inventory of all your expenses, write it down. Literally, you have to get down to the penny. Everything. Get down to the details. You can't ignore it. Are you ignoring something? You might be. I know I've done it before. Like literally, you don't gain 100 pounds overnight. That happens over time because you're ignoring something for an extended period of time. Stop ignoring things and start being honest with yourself. I mean, and then also once you do that, when you just like look at it on paper, you can start to see like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I don't need this monthly beauty box. Or like, I don't know, maybe wow, I didn't know that I'm drinking this much alcohol. Maybe I cut down. Not only does that help me save money, but that helps me save calories. Hello, twofer. So again, this can be applied to anything that you want to achieve. And so self-awareness and honesty are like the biggest things. It's one of the biggest hurdles I think that people need to overcome if they want to really truly make any kind of transformation, no matter what kind it is. But the other thing is self-care. And I know like at first, I'm guilty of this. I get so excited that I want to just like keep working till I achieve my goal. But I also I've done this multiple times in my life. I remember doing it in college where I was like, I'm going to take the most classes I could possibly take, get the most credits done, and also work 3 jobs. And it was like, whoa. Sometimes that's not always good. So you really need to think about your self-care as you go along. I remember in January 2010, I thought I was going to have to file for bankruptcy. I did the work. I put everything down on paper. I was honest with myself. I was like, this is, all right, this is just how I'm going to have to live for the next X amount of months until we make, we pay off this debt. Then we go to this or whatever. And there's like steps along the way. And I remember my first like entertainment bucket of money that I had at that time, I was only allowing myself 99 cents a week at the Red Box movie dispenser thing when I would go to the grocery store. And I did that for a couple months. Like I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. I just stayed in and I watched a 99-cent movie for months. But then once I started, like my budget would change, and you have to like keep changing your plan as you go, because if you're growing, your needs are going to change. And it's good to be in that stage. If you feel uncomfortable, you're like, oh, wait, hold up. That's a good sign. Like you want that because that means you're getting out of your comfort zone. That one Redbox movie a week turned into a Redbox movie and a bottle of wine from Aldi's for $3.99. So I upgraded at one point. I was like, all right, cool. Now I got a movie and a bottle of wine. That's actually kind of all I really wanted at that point. I'm like, I could do this for years. But, months go by. Then, the finances change a little bit. I pay off some things. Then I get to the next level. Then I start buying fresh flowers from Aldi's for like $4.99 a week. So I went from, in addition to my bottle of wine and my movie, and I was grateful for those things. So, because look at where I came from. Yeah, it's not much. It's humble, but 6 months prior to that, I could only afford a 1.99 movie, so it takes time, and burnout is real. I never even heard of that expression, burnout, until like recently, actually. But I remember at the time when I was going through this, over 10 years ago, I did not take I didn't have the money to hire a babysitter. And I just like, I don't know, I think I kind of subconsciously felt like I didn't deserve to take a break at that time. So I literally had no babysitter. All I did was mom and work. And my job was very demanding. It was like 40 hours minimum is definitely expected. But putting in an extra 10 to 20 hours on the weekend or even during the week as well is not out of the norm for that industry and that life that I was working in professionally. So eventually, I remember just being like, I was burnt out for sure. Did not even know how to explain it really. Like mentally, I was exhausted. I like remember breaking down, crying. I think I got sick, and because my kid got sick, and like if your kid gets sick, you can't go to work, right? Especially as a single parent. And so I was just like, I remember I drove to my office and asked my coworker to bring down my laptop so I could work from home. And as I'm sitting there waiting, and this is downtown Chicago, like on Wabash, okay? And I got a ticket while my car was on. I was in the car. I had my like emergency lights on, and this woman was relentless, ruthless. She's like, "You get a ticket." And I just like bust out crying, like had a full meltdown, and was like, "Oh my God." And that was a moment where I was like, "Okay, this is too much. This is too much for me." Because I remember thinking, I'm sick, my kid's sick. Now I got to go pay this ticket that I don't feel like it's justified for, and I don't even have money, and whatever. I'm like, how am I going to make money if they won't even let me work from home? Like, just poor me attitude. But it's okay. I'm a human, okay? And it's okay if you have these poor me attitudes sometimes, as long as you recognize it and you're able to take yourself out of it. So I remember eventually like, okay. And I think it was when I was seeing my therapist, any doctor's appointments, any like self-improvement or anything like my personal time was my lunch break at work. And I was going to see a therapist during my lunch breaks at one point. I remember her being like, I don't know. I think I was just explaining all the things that I was doing and for how long. And I think that's when I like hearing it out loud, I was like, I probably need to take a break, right? Like the thought didn't even cross my mind. And so I made not just like, oh, you need a temporary 1-day break. You need like actual, I need dedicated time like once a week to take care of myself, to just get away from being a mom and being an employee. And I remember that first time. And it took a while too, because don't forget, I know nobody there. I have my young baby as a single mom. I don't have any help. So I have to hire help. And this is when I was able to eventually get to a point where, I was not, like I had more than the 99-cent Redbox movie. Like we worked up to that. But I remember I had to do background checks. I had to interview people, which takes my time. It was an exhausting process, but it was very important to me, obviously, to find somebody who I can trust, because this is somebody I'm leaving my child with. So eventually we got to the point where, I felt like, okay, I can leave them. They're in our place. We've hung out a few times. Now I feel like I can leave. And I just like made a point to leave the apartment complex or the condo building, whatever that we're living in. It was in Greektown in Chicago, right on right across from Walgreens and Mariano's. And I remember walking out. It was like my first time walking out of my building in Chicago without a stroller in ever. Like that feeling, I'll never forget that feeling. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my, like I was skipping. I was skipping to Walgreens. I think I just went and like got like soda and chocolate or something. I don't know. I think I might have just wandered around by myself. I really just breathing in fresh air, like not having to hold on to anything or like, be scared that my little child's gonna like, we're in the city. It's like, wow, I could actually breathe for a second. And I realized at that point, wow, this is definitely a priority because you need to recharge. And then, so that turned into, I picked 1 hour a week. I was like, I don't care. Just come for like 1 hour and I don't know, I'll run an errand or whatever. That turned into, I started dating. Bad investment for me at that time. But then I was like, I don't want to date. Like, I'm not spending my money on these guys that I don't even like, whatever. Like, no, I started investing in myself, and something that I started doing that I always wanted to do. And I know this sounds silly, but this goes back to childhood Jenny. I was like, I always thought that ninjas and breakdancers were like the coolest thing ever when I was young. And there were no like ninja. I mean, I guess I could do like martial arts or something, but like, I didn't want to be like a martial artist. I didn't want to like be a full-blown break dancer, but I found Cirque du Soleil and I was like, this is so freaking cool. And there was a circus art school that was near me. I wound up taking classes there and going to like 2-3 classes a week. And I was in the best shape of my life. I was in thriving status for sure. But yeah, little did I know that this whole time, all these things, all these accomplishments that I was able to achieve, I learned these tools that seem so basic at the time, but I learned them from my formal education and then also my professional experience. Don't forget the high standards that we had for training. Like they were brainwashing us with how to be an amazing high performer. Like you want it done, we'll do it faster. Like that was the environment that I was in. But I know that everything leading up to this point in my life has essentially trained me to manifest anything I want and to deliver solid manifestations. I've done it for major global firms and for Fortune 500 firms. And I've done it for myself. I've been like underestimating myself this whole time, but in hindsight, I look back at all these accomplishments and I see a very obvious trend of using the tools that I've learned in technical application development and program management. I was dealing and managing, running, and maintaining 9 and 10 figure range businesses, like almost like $1 billion. Okay. So I never had a mentor. I never had anyone to really look up to. I was always surrounded by these like men who obviously weren't even as smart as me or you. Just kidding. But I just realized like, wow, if I'm able to be successful in this environment that doesn't feed my soul, imagine what I could do if I stop doubting myself and realize, like, put that same energy that I had when I would walk into my corporate professional world, have that same energy for myself. Like, why am I not doing this for myself? And as soon as I started channeling that energy into myself, that's really when everything started to come into fruition. So, I mean, I want to make sure that I tell you I'm not giving or sharing anything like wildly groundbreaking other than, gathering all the things that I've done, how I've done it, and how you can do it too. And not only do I share all this with you through, like I mentioned, my videos, my worksheets, activities, but I also want to ensure that you achieve your goals by having a one-on-one, private, confidential, customized, tailored mom boss manifestation framework session, hype session with your girl, and we will achieve specific and measurable goals. And I don't know, I'll just tell you, they're called SMART goals. You can Google it. But there's a way to use SMART goals to really see results in a manner that you want for yourself, because everyone is different. And I am the ultimate manifestation hype queen. If you want to get that podcast started, let's get that podcast started. Are you looking to make a physical transformation to feel healthy and increase your motivation? I've literally done this before. So don't make me show this picture again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am so embarrassed by this. But also, maybe you're looking to, I'm going to put this up. Maybe you're looking to scale your own business, your own small business. I've scaled 8-figure businesses. I can help you with your business. So this slide that I'm showing now, for those who are listening, this shows all the different modules I have in my manifestation framework. Again, the link is in the show notes. Let's see. Sorry, I want to make sure that I am on time. Oh, wow. I'm doing good with time, I guess. Okay. I wanted to give a housewife spin on my module titles because I wanted you to realize, like, this is really coming from me. This is like as authentic as I can be. And I want it to be relatable for everyone. So make sure you go check that out. Sign up for the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework for the self-paced crash course. And with that included is a personalized one-on-one session with the ultimate manifestation hype queen. Whoa, it's not on. Thank you all for joining me today. Please make sure you are subscribed. And if you took anything away from this show today, please do me a favor and please share with someone you think it would resonate with, who could maybe take something away from, for themselves as well. And I love you all. Don't let you be the reason you're not living your best life. Until next week.